Alright everyone, welcome back to another episode of All the Mod 6. I hope everyone is doing great today. I know that I am, as always. We're jumping right back into our world here. I haven't done much really since our last episode. I actually recorded the last episode just the other day, so we haven't had a stream technically since then, but we will have some streams coming up here shortly. So if you are interested in catching a live stream, definitely check it out. Link in the description down below to our Twitch. We currently stream on Mondays and Fridays at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's around that time, roughly. So I try to go live then, but I also have a full-time job. That bumps up right against that timing, so it just depends. So, anywhoosins, we're getting right back into it, like I said. And I hope you guys did enjoy the last episode. If you weren't able to catch it, I highly recommend going back and checking it out. We did try to do something a little bit different, where we actually tore down something we had done and then redid it on a video so you guys could actually see how the process went. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a cool mix-up, actually. So again, community recommended tip there, so I definitely appreciate it. We'll try to do it more going forward if you guys enjoyed it as well. But so, in the last episode, I'm just going to catch you guys up a little bit here for those of you who didn't watch the last episode. We got our thermal evaporation chamber up and going here, as obviously this is the controller, there's blocks and whatnot, but this is a multi-block structure from Mekanism that produces the brine that we need. Now, as you guys can see here, we are at max thermals on this bad boy, which is awesome. We also have this resistive heater, which is helping bump up that temperature. We might even be able to bump it down a little bit. We probably could spend a little bit less power there. So we'll do like 2,500. And let's see, does that bump our overall? It does a little bit there. I think 3,000 is pretty much your sweet spot with it. And again, this is something that you guys can tinker with in your setup as well. I'm just going to bump it back up to there because 3,000 is nothing on our system. Anywho, so this is producing brine out the back. As you can see, we have it coming down. We have our water going in. That's what happens. Water in, brine out, and then a brine is going into our refined storage system. If we take a look at our fluid grid here, we currently have none. And you might be wondering, well, why don't you have any in your system? I feel like you should be producing a decent amount. Well, that's where the next part comes in, which is down here, and that is our electrolytic separator. So what we have going on here is the brine going into our separator, and when brine is put in our electrolytic separator here, if we take a look here, you get chlorine and you also get sodium. It's actually interesting. I didn't think of that before, because sodium could be extremely useful. The sodium is just sodium to liquid sodium. Okay, what can you do with liquid sodium? Can we like make it into anything? Can it be used for anything? I mean, not really. That's kind of funny. That's an option to have sodium, but you don't really do anything with it. Liquid sodium, yeah. You would think that you'd be able to like solidify it in some form or fashion and make some salt, because that's pretty much what it is. Sodium is salt. But you can't. But anyway, so we're taking brine and we're getting an output of our, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Our chlorine. So with this chlorine, it is then being pumped out the back here, underneath our little walkway, and then over into another chemical infuser, or well, a chemical infuser over here. And we're taking chlorine and hydrogen and making hydrogen chloride. Yes. So that is why it's running there. And you might be wondering why, again, it doesn't look like we have any brine and we don't have any of the chlorine, right? Chlorines come from the set in our systems here. Well, it's all in this piping. So this is the elite pressurized tubes from Mekanism, and these bad boys hold a ton of capacity per block pipe length. So that's why it is filling up this whole entire length here. And that's why we don't see any backfill in that last machine. Anyway, so this whole entire process is for one specific use, and that is to get our ores to be quadrupled, 4 times ore processing from Mekanism. They call it tier 3 processing. I think it should be tier 4 processing, because you're getting a 4 output from it, but you know, a 1-to-4 ratio, but it is what it is. So we didn't have enough time to do it in the last episode, so we're going to do it here. And we're also going to look into looking at what we need to get to the next tier in today's video too, and just kind of starting to put some things in process. Now, we're not going to get to that right away. We actually might skip a couple episodes around that and then get back to it later. But I do just want to put something in place so it's producing some stuff. So when we get to that point, we have it ready. Anyway, I'm talking way too much. Let me just get pulled up here then what we need to do. So what we will be doing here is getting a chemical injection chamber up and going. And we did bookmark it at the end of the last episode. And it's actually not too hard to make. We just need to craft up a few items there. And we're also going to need a purification chamber, which means we need an enrichment chamber. Okay, so we do have kind of a long tier of crafting here. This really shouldn't take too long to get everything made up. So there's our enrichment chamber. And then we need a purification chamber. It's actually kind of funny that it's all like this. Where is, that's the one thing I don't like. Sometimes it doesn't pull the machine in that you need. That's because I was on the wrong one. Let's move everything. So we got our purification chamber, and then finally we have our chemical injection chamber. So we should be good to go with this. Now, this just depends on where we want to place it down and have it actually be processing. Because pretty much we need our ores to then come into this one and then output into this one over here. So I'm kind of thinking we might use, maybe we'll just use some pipes going around. But I think the best bet for us to do is actually just kind of place it in the corner here. We can't go underneath because that's where our power is coming from. But we could go up and over. So let's place it here. We are going to need to bring some power over to it. So let's nix this off, and that. We'll make this look pretty, obviously. Don't want it to look ugly. And then we're going to need some more of these elite universal cables. And holy smokes, they're going down pretty quick there, but that's because we don't have any power on it. So here we go. We'll get that put over to there. We'll throw this ender gate right on there, so it is getting some additional power, or it's getting the power it needs. And then this should be set up. So let's see what upgrades we can get. So we can get speed and energy, obviously, and probably muffling as well. You can also get gas, which probably makes sense because you are pumping the hydrogen chloride into here. So we'll definitely want to get all of those up and going. And you know what? Why don't we do it right now? Actually, we have our speed upgrades. We actually have all of our energy upgrades. And we can get the gas upgrades going. I believe you can make 8 of them. The gas upgrades just increase the efficiency on the gas that's being used in the process overall. So that's why we want to have them. But anywho, so what we're going to do is going to pump out the hydrogen chloride over to this machine here. So that means we are going to need more of the pressurized tubes, which I don't think I actually have. So this might be a good second here to actually take a moment and get some of these patterns up and going for the pressurized tubes, because I feel like we've used a decent amount of the pressurized tubes and they deserve their own recipes here. So we'll get the elite, advanced, and basic. Obviously, you start with the basic here. Get that one made up. Pretty straightforward. Move to the advanced. This will just make it so much easier when we are trying to get everything going. Now, we don't have to bump up. There is the ultimate one, which definitely is amazing. But we could do it, but then what? I mean, what's the real point? These ones are already insane as they are. So, but we could always do it down the line if we want to. We're probably gonna have to get another netherite crafter put in place over here, and we have some space over here for them as well. So just something to keep in mind for us. All right, so now we just want to get the elite pressurized tube. We could do it. What do we need? Oh, that is something that I always forget on, and it's probably in the basic one, right? Yeah, it's probably in the basic one here. So the one thing that I always forget about is that in your basic pressurized tube, or in a lot of the basic piping, it takes glass, and by default it chooses dark glass, and that's not what we want. We want normal glass here. We don't want to have the dark glass because we don't have a pattern set up for it to be crafted. Also, it's probably additional steps that we don't really need to be taking. So anyway, we're gonna hop back over to Mekanism here. I'm super excited to get this up and going, guys. You don't even know. I'm ready to get it going, so then we can go to the other dimension, get a bunch of ores, and just send them on back and have them process through lickety split. But you didn't expect me to say that today, did you? We'll get some extra ones going as well, because I don't know how many we actually need here. So we're going to have it coming off the top here. Oh, we're getting a little bit of lag in this area too. I mean, we do have a lot of machines going all in a very close-knit space. And it's a good thing I did craft those additional ones up, because we do need one more. And we'll have it come down into here. So we do want to take a look at our configuration here. So input all directions. Well, actually, we just wanted to input from the top, so it doesn't much matter. Items, we're going to have to figure this one out, because obviously we are going to need our chest to then come into here and then pump out the side elsewhere. So probably what we will do is probably have a chest output this direction. Or does it make sense to bump this down? It might actually make sense to bump this down one and have it more so in the middle. Which means we're going to need to grab the rest of these bad boys. Those are not the right ones. Those are the ultimate thermoconductors there for our heating element. So I'm thinking actually we'll place this one in the middle here. And taking a look at the... because I have my little cheat sheet on the side here to see where things go in at. And it's going in at the chemical injection chamber right now. But eventually we're going to have crystals that go into this one that then continue on the path as well once we get to the next tier. So I think this setup is fine for now. I just wanted it to honestly just look cool. So I think this should still be set up properly. Yep. So items, we just want all of these to be turned off for the moment. We need it to come in one side and then out the other side, and we need it to go over. Well, we want this, right? Because this is actually going to input into this one. And I think we have to have it set up like so. We do need an ultimate logistical transporter here to attach on the side. Items. We're going to input from that side, and we might have to configure this to pull from this, which is perfect. We'll have it pull into the side here. That'll be that. And then I think, right, because the ore goes into here. Yep. And then all we got to do is then have it output and jump all the way over to here, which is not the most ideal setup, to be 100% honest. And we'll probably need another ender chest in order to do it. Again, there's way more efficient ways to do this. Don't get me wrong. I could tear everything down and have it, you know, panned out way better, but for what we're doing currently, I am 100% happy with how it is. So right now this is outputting in the front, which is kind of funny. We want it to output on the top, and the auto eject is off, so we are going to want to turn that bad boy on. So it should is hydrogen chloride a liquid then and not a gas? I wish it would tell me. Like, I guess it would show us item to gas, salt. You can actually turn salt into hydrogen chloride. I didn't know that. That might have been an easier way to do this as well, instead of going it through this path. But this way you just use water instead of using just plain old salt. So yeah, so like what? I mean, it should be, right? And it should go out the top. Gases. Oh, that's why. Looking at the wrong one here. There we go. So that should output hydrogen chloride over to here. And then obviously we're going to want to do some upgrades, so we'll throw those in here. Actually, someone told me you can sneak click these in here instead of waiting. Oh yeah, that's way better. Way better. 100% recommend just sneak clicking them in there. Do we have our gas ones created? That we do. So we'll just put all of these in here. So this should be really efficient at this point. Yeah, 10 times more efficient with everything. Okay, so then this output in blue is going to have to go out and then continue on the path, but I kind of want to try it out real quick. So we don't need the pressurized tube anymore. We are going to need another transporter here. Do I have any of those cool ones still? Yeah, the ultimate one. Ultimate is just so quick. And we are going to need this to output to this side here. And we are on items, so this is going to be output there. And then we are going to need another chest. I guess we don't actually need this here. I'm just realizing this now. And we can put that away and place these down. make it actually look semi-decent. We are going to need another ender chest, like I said. So let's see here. Ender chest. Okay. What should we do? We could do blue. I've already done purple because purple is my favorite color, so it's gonna stay that way. We could do a little bit of cyan. Let's do that. So we'll grab some of that. And then we do need 2 of these made. Right? And we are gonna have to make a bucket. It's kind of funny that we have to make buckets. Like, that's the thing that we need. I'm gonna bookmark this one so we can make it easier. Recipe. Can we just make this real quick here? No. It's not gonna be friendly with us here. Right. I mean, it would be easier for me to just whatever. Okay, so we got our 2 cyan ender chests here. We're gonna place one here. It should connect in. I don't know why it wouldn't. Maybe I have to have it placed first and then place this down. No. Okay. What's going on here? Yeah, neither of those connected for some reason. That is not what I wanted to do. Let me tinker with this a second. You guys are probably already commenting it down below. So, if you guys didn't catch on, I made 2 ender tanks. Not going to be very useful for items. So, but I did realize in the process that I actually had ender chests here. So you probably were also commenting down below on that one as well. So I do appreciate the comments, guys. But yeah, so I already had these ones. I think they are gray, if I'm not mistaken. But what I'm just doing is I'm taking some of these, some of the cyan dye I had, and I'm just dyeing the top layer. So then they're individual to this specific process here with 1 cyan and then 2 gray there. And that's how you can do it on yours as well. You can change all 3 of these to be different combinations. It's super, super configurable and really, really nice to have. So we're going to put that to pull. We're going to set this. No, we're not going to set that to blue. I don't know. I think the... Oh, oopsie. Didn't mean to do that. I actually think the blue and the different colors would have helped in our last episode where we were having pipes connect. I think you can set them to different colors and they will not connect. So something to keep in mind if you are going through this. But we should be set up here, which is awesome. This should be outputting a decent amount. It's just consistently. It's actually nice because we have a consistent in of all the other ones because of these pressurized tubes that we have. If we put too much strain on the system, definitely going to run out of resources at some point in time. But for the time being, we should be pretty much set. So we got a bunch of gold here. Let's see if it works. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to throw in our gold. It's going to go through the process here. It's going to give us gold shards, which, again, if you guys are not familiar with, you can actually muffle these machines without having to put a muffler on them. I actually think I hit the wrong thing. Chemical injection chamber. There we go. So yeah, you don't even have to put a muffler on here. You can just do that through your inventory. So then these should be outputting over to here, which then bumps in down into here, which is then making these clumps. The clumps are then being crushed up into dirty gold, which is then being... Or dirty gold is being made into gold dust, I should say, which is then being smelted up and giving us gold ingots, which is awesome. So from that, what do we put in? A whole stack? So you're technically getting 4 stacks from 1 stack, which is just insane. I mean, our gold ore is just going to bump up astronomically here just from that 1 stack. Yeah, it's just in a crazy amount, and it's going relatively quick here. It could be a lot faster, that is for sure, but we're not really running into any lag anywhere. It's just the chemical injection chamber on its own and what it actually handles. But it's going quick. We do have a decent amount of hydrogen chloride. We don't have any backfill in here, but we got a bunch of backfill in these pipes, which will continue to accumulate as we progress forward. But yeah, guys, I'm really digging this, and holy smokes at how quick it moves through there. So what I really would like to do is try to go to the other dimension and see what we can actually come back with in ores. So let me do a little bit of mining and just kind of put this through the paces and make sure that we're on a good page with it. All right, guys, so we are back at the base here. And I went ahead and did some mining, like I said, and I already have it running through the paces here just to see how things are doing, how it's keeping up with everything. It does look like our hydrogen chloride is going to be our biggest downfall here. It's just not producing it quick enough, which actually, you know what I'm seeing? I don't have speed. I don't have speed or air energy upgrades on this one. I don't even have muffling. I have nothing on that one. So really, that's what we need to get up and going here is some speed and energy upgrades so that we can help that out. So let's get some speed. Not at speed. We just need mechanism. So we do have a few speed upgrades. We're going to want to make more, just 2 more. The max is 8. And then we are going to want to bump up our energy as well and start those bad boys. Our speed ones are already done. It's crazy how quick these get produced. I do love our system. I'm loving where our gameplay is going just in general. I feel like this is one of the saves that I've really had a lot of fun with. And it's had a lot of potential behind. So this should bump it up a little bit better here. So it should be producing more. Yeah, it's keeping up in the overall production because look, it's using about 210 millibuckets, right? And then on this side, what is it actually producing? Does it say? It is using a decent amount of power, which we have the power pumping into it. It's just, yeah, it's sucking up a lot of power because they're all sucking up a good amount of power, which might make it more, make more sense to have. Does it make sense to have better? Why is this taking a while? These are running slow too, but we have upgrades on these ones. Because it's not getting enough oxygen. Yeah, our oxygen backlog is down as well. So, but this shows that it has oxygen in it. Is it just not producing it fast enough? Do we have any upgrades on this? We don't even have upgrades on this one. Oh my gosh, what am I doing with my life? All right, so that is explaining a lot. And really, if we had these on here from the start, it probably would be way more efficient than where we're currently at with it. So we got our speed upgrades. We just need to get our energy upgrades and we'll plop them on this machine. I have no idea why they didn't have them on there. I'm guessing I just kind of was getting things set down and just ultimately didn't get around to putting the upgrades on here. But yeah, now we have speed and energy upgrades. Obviously, those are the only ones other than muffling. If you really want to have muffling, you can do it, but you don't have to. Now this is running at max capacity. So that's really where it comes into play here is having those upgrades. Otherwise, it's just going to be running real slow. So I feel like it's able to keep up now. I feel like our pace is decent. And as we let it sit then for a while, it should backlog a good amount. So then it can produce a lot very quickly right off the bat and then, you know, slow down over a period of time if necessary. So, but yeah, this is going to completely annihilate our iron stash here. I mean, it's just going to go up and up and up. We're sitting about 11,000 iron right now. We do need to actually take some stuff off of our farms because, we're producing, it's funny to say, but we're producing a lot of stuff that we don't necessarily need right now. So anyway, let's sleep. How about we do that first? Let's sleep this night away. And then we're going to look into something really quickly here at the end of the episode that I want to just have, like I said, in place before, or just while we are probably going to be doing a few other things. So heading over to our farm, first and foremost, let's get these taken off of here. These coffee beans. I really do want to use these actually, because you can make coffee out of it, which is awesome. All you got to do is put it into a furnace and you can get coffee. And you know how I am. You know, I like a good coffee. So that's why I want it to be that way. Actually, you know what I'm thinking real quick? Just jumped into my mind. Let's check on our power. Are we doing like, okay, yeah, we're doing fine. We're pulling out so much power for our setup right now, but we have so much being generated that it's perfectly fine. Also, I don't think we need to have soybeans in here anymore. We have so many soybeans backlogged. Yeah, we also have to get rid of some of this raw beef. We have a bunch of raw beef. We should be making more sandwiches, right? Like these bad boys should be producing over a period of time. I don't think we're missing anything, are we? I'll have to check on that later. So many things to do. Anywho's, so the one thing that I do want to get up and going, well, maybe two different things, is a component that's going to be part of the 5 times ore processing that we're going to get into. Now, what we need for it, one of the base things getting into the 5 times, is gunpowder. And we don't have a lot of gunpowder. If we take a look at our inventory here, we got 300. Really, it's not that amazing. We could have way more. And it is used in, let's see here, if we can show it here. I think it's in one of these, yeah, to make sulfur. And I believe that's what we want to ultimately make is sulfur. Now, you could also, I believe, make gunpowder from flint if you really wanted to. Yeah, you could make it from flint. You could also turn flint into oxygen. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. We want gunpowder. I think that's going to be one of the best ways to go about getting things. And one of the easiest ways to actually get gunpowder, you could do it from creeper essence with mystical agriculture, which actually might be nice to do. Get some creeper seeds going and get some of that up and going. But what I want to do is something different in a centrifuge. Here we go. Beeper honeycombs can output 4 gunpowder. Now, if you had a block, it'd be different, but you can output 4 just from beeper honeycombs. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we'll get a apiary, or we'll get one set up in here for some beepers. And I don't know if I actually have any. We might actually have to go grab some real quick, because I don't actually think... Yeah, I don't actually have any. So let me grab them. Let me get some stuff set up, and then we're going to I'll show you guys what I'm kind of thinking around this process. All right, guys. So we are set up and ready to go here. Just needed to get some beepers. Also wanted to get their area set up as well here in our bee sanctuary. I do want to show you real quick, though, before we go on, our downstairs area. For those of you who aren't familiar, who haven't been following along with the series, we do have this downstairs area here underneath our beehives. That have item users underneath all of the beehives. These item users from Cyclic, you just put a scraper in them. We have them set to the highest tick delay and always on. This just allows them to then scrape away the honeycomb. If you guys are familiar with the bees, you want to scrape away honeycomb. And then we have an item collector from Cyclic that is actually picking everything up, or an item collector, I think. Yeah, there's an item user, and yeah, so that's what we have set up here. This is actually going to be the one for our beepers. And we do have hidden elevators here as well. But we're going to come down to the end one here, and we're going to close our door just like so. So we have a tier 2 beehive up and going in here, which should be pretty nice for them. If you take a look here, it does hold a max of 6 bees, and max honeycombs is 8. Hive time modification is 10% less. These are nice. I eventually want to get into the apiaries and things like that. I don't want to necessarily be stuck on those. I think the apiaries will be really, really cool to do. It might be a next episode. But anyway, luckily, it's very, very easy to find beepers. They're all over the place. We also have blocks of gunpowder on the floor. And that is because for these guys, they actually prefer to have blocks of gunpowder as their flower. So this is what they'll actually use to pollinate and make the honeycomb that we want. So if we throw these guys down in here, they should all pop into the beehive just like so. We can put our jars away, and then we can get out of here. So they will take some time. They got to get used to the setup here. But pretty much what they will do is create their honeycomb, which is awesome because that's what we want. We want them to make the beeper honeycomb, which then can be used in our big centrifuge over there to actually output gunpowder. Now, and also a chance to get beeswax, which we need beeswax to actually progress more, which is good. That's why we're also getting this up and going. Kind of a dual thing going on here. But the beeswax and the gunpowder are the gunpowder is the key thing here. So hopefully these guys will be happy and they're producing some gunpowder for us. Now, the other thing I did actually want to try to do was get some mystical agriculture stuff set up, but I don't know if we have everything ready, and we are kind of up at the end of the episode here. We don't really have much more time. We do have more botany pots, which we got going on stream. Let's see how much it'll take here to get one up and going, and I might just do it real quick and then show you guys the end result, because I really want it to get going and let it run and produce that gunpowder. So give me just a second here. All right, guys, so that was no easy task by any means of the imagination. In order to get the creeper seeds, you do have to get the soul jars filled with creepers, so that's 10 creeper kills per soul jar, utilizing the bronze dagger. I believe that's what it is from Mystical Agriculture, in order to get this. And then obviously you need some tertium essence as well as solium seed base to get the seeds themselves. Not too bad. I did make up some insanium farmland, because what I'm going to do is plop this in here, plant our creeper seeds. It's actually going to be kind of cool here. They are going to show as little creepers, much like our spider ones here. Now we are going to want to come down here and have it put that the creeper essence is now going to be input into our system here. So we want creeper essence in here just like so, because this can be utilized to actually make gunpowder. You can actually make discs with it too. I did not know that. But then we come into our crafter here, and we're just going to want to get this recipe put in place. And really, it should be fine. Just to apply it like so. So as it gets these creeper essences, it is going to output gunpowder, which is perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to do. I don't know if it's going to start right off the bat or not, because that's input, right? Exporter into the system. We'll see. This should have gone maybe through its first one. No, it hasn't gone fully through its first rotation just yet. But I guess we'll kind of find out relatively quick here. I think we can even look in the barrel to see. Yep, it did get some creeper essence, which means it should be going right into here just like so. Did not get enough to make some gunpowder, but that will run on its own. And we do actually have a chance. We do have a creeper spawn egg, I just realized, which we could utilize as well. I just don't want them exploding. That's the biggest thing. But we also have a chance to get the seeds, which we could then plant in our farm and just have it be made up that way as well. So once we get some seeds going, we'll probably do that as well. But guys, with that being said, we do need to wrap up the episode here. As you can see, I took quite a few arrows to everywhere on my body as I was trying to fight off some creepers. But that's going to do it for this episode. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like down below. Better yet, leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking on this series. Or getting tips, suggestions. Love to see what you guys are thinking down there. If you are new here, you do want to follow along, definitely hit that subscribe button and bell notification. It'll let you know every single time I post a new episode here on the channel. I do stream over on Twitch. Already mentioned it. Link in the description down below, as well as a link to our Discord, our community Discord. Anyone can join. Obviously, we have some rules. Be polite. Have a nice time. And it's a chill space to hang out. So feel free to check that out if you are interested in diving more into our community that we are slowly building here. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for hanging with me today. I appreciate it so very much. And I will catch you all in the next episode. Take it easy.